Hi everyone, it is July 2nd and it's been a month since we put everything in the ground, so we thought we'd give another tour just to give you an update and see how much things have grown, and then maybe share some problems and issues we've had. Or this season has started off really wet and cold, so it's provided some challenges, and I often get some questions, so I can just share some again similar questions I get like all day from friends at work. So kind of to start over here, the last time we showed you this box, this is some wildflowers, zinnia, clarkia. This is the first time that I've grown this. It kind of looks like a weed, so very interested to see what this flower will look like. There's some dahlias in here too. So the zinnia are starting to grow really nicely and fill in, and we'll get some blooms there soon. This is Sweet Williams. This is a little flower that I grew from seed, and it just hasn't bloomed yet, so it's very green. So again, excited to see what that looks like here soon. The lettuce, so typically a spring crop. I went through so much of it. There's another whole video on all the lettuce types and the different varieties, how sweet they are, if they're heat tolerant. I tried to keep most of the heat tolerant up here left, so I'm still kind of working through the Butter Crunch and the Lola Rosa. And then I did succession planting of Lola Rosa, so the next few layers here. And then this is Devil's Ear. So this is a very heat tolerant lover. I've never grown it before. Thank you, Cliff. So these will be planted in these couple boxes here coming up. Primrose we planted, so maybe we'll get lucky and have some blooms that come alive at night. Let's go around this way. So I had about 12 heirloom tomatoes and like cherry 100s and yellow pear, about 12 of them that were emergency planting because of the weather, and sometimes deer eat Cliff's tomatoes, so we wanted to make sure we had some on deck, and they've been sitting here this whole time. So last night we just decided to get some of our buckets and things we had handy, and had to go buy dirt and plant these. So they hopefully will survive the rest of the summer, and maybe we'll get a really late September harvest. I did a separate video on these geraniums that we tried to overwinter, and there's like this teeny weeny little green bud growing. The reason to overwinter is so that you get a bigger, faster bloom and just save the plant, but I am not feeling very confident that this is going to be a fast bloom here. These are smaller tomatoes, some like pink bumblebee, black strawberry, yellow pear, so they're all starting to come in nicely. A lot of different peppers you'll see throughout. Roma tomatoes are all coming in pretty nice. Beans, now I may have said this last time, at this point I should have already had several harvests, like every week having a good serving of beans, and it's just been really cold and wet. That's what I'm blaming it on. They've been not producing. I have some of our, like the dragon tongue beans that are green and purple. When they come out and they cook green, they're so mild and amazing, and I've gotten like 3. And then I have some of these Cantari beans, so they're starting to come in a little bit, so we'll see if we get more through the season, but it's been a little rough. A box of 4 heirlooms, so I think in here we have pineapple, Cherokee purple, brandywine, and this is a mushroom basket. So you can see I have some tomatoes starting to form here from the flowers, but this is the strangest tomato plant I've ever seen. It looks like a determinate variety like Roma, but it's not. It's an indeterminate, and it's so bushy and super strange. Like, I don't know, it's not a lot of, seems like there might be suckers down here. It's not. I'll show you another one in the other box. Just the really interesting, you wanted to see if tomatoes actually came in from it. I have asters planted down here, and realized that bunnies, if you come over here on this side, Bunnies love to eat flowers, certain flower tips, so they came in and chewed off all these. So I have this under a little chicken wire here. I don't know if we're gonna get a storm or what. Again, another box of heirlooms. So there's 5 heirloom tomatoes in here. This is a Cherokee purple. This one in the center. So this one right here, it did grow. I let it grow a couple suckers, but you can see how big this is all the way to the top and how thick. This is that same variety that was over there that was really dwarfed and like bushy. So really, I don't know what happened. Here's another box again of some of the pineapples. I grew more pineapple. That's one of our favorites. It's so like pink and sweet and fleshy and not a lot of seeds. Cherry tomato, yellow pear. So these were kind of just last minute throwing these in here. All of our peppers are doing really well. Again, some of these 4 were the ones that were overwintered. They look decent compared to the seeded peppers. So we'll see if they actually produce more. That's what is supposed to happen. And please ignore the lawn of weeds because that's a different project. And I killed a bunch, so it doesn't look great. We're gonna get some mulch here. Some more of the smaller tomatoes again. The black strawberry and pink bumblebee. First year I'm growing them, so very excited to see them. Here are some of the other, like the last 4. We'll see if Cliff wants to sneak these in somewhere in his garden. Why not? Okay, let's head around this way. So some of our flowers are coming in or maturing. A lot of the coleus. And these were all some varieties that were propagated and just kind of thrown in a pot to make new clippings. These were little babies over the winter, and they're growing up really nicely. I have a whole nother strand going in the kitchen. These had really awesome roots. These were 3 different coleus, and they just are a little finicky. They don't like to being like transplanted, and they didn't like the sun, so I'm nursing them in the shade, and hopefully that will do okay. This Sweet Cherry 100 is, I think, about 68 or 70 inches tall. This thing is always a monster. I've been trying to stay on the suckers, letting some suckers grow, because if you do only have a certain amount of plants, you do want it to get a little bit bushier, and then it will produce more tomatoes, especially the small variety like this. Then you're not going to run into it being really heavy or like dwarfing the size of like a big heirloom tomato, which we have over there. Okay, cucumber. So we have a bunch coming in. Here's one decent size. I looked back last year, so just for note again, how much like weather can really determine like how your plants do and when they produce. I was already cutting and eating and harvesting cucumbers. That's the only one I have. The rest are all pretty small. A lot of flowers. The birds love to eat the cucumber flowers, which is really annoying, but they usually don't disturb the pollen in the inside. So this one loves to climb up, and again we had to start stringing up to the awning and over. They'll usually go all the way over. It's just like really cool. Love the way it looks, very relaxing. Some of the lettuce, so I took off a Gustav salad lettuce head today. This one is ready to go as well. I took off some more here. I'm gonna leave these to see if we'll get some little sprouts, because I'll show you over here. I took off this one and just let it go, and wasn't thinking that it would even start to grow again, but that is a Forellenschluss, and it's starting to produce some more, so maybe I'll get another little second harvest, because a lot of your lettuce is cut and come again. This was a tiny baby when we first did the video. This has grown nicely. These are Sun Lover coleuses, really cool colors. To see that in the winter. Smaller tomatoes, oregano, basil. I have tried to trim the tops to make them bushier, but I'm gonna have to do it again. So, and you want to kind of cut off right here at like maybe the second leaf node, so then it produces more from the outside and gets a little bit bushier. These were just really teeny, like one single plant, so have to work on that. Some more bell peppers. This is a cayenne hot pepper, and it's the other two that I have are not this tall. I'm not quite sure why this one is growing so huge and tall, but it is, so it's fine. Whatever. What else can I show you? Let's see. All the flowers are doing well. Again, more of the hot peppers here. So Hungarian wax. This is the other purple cayenne. I think this is another hot pepper. And then all of the snapdragons and stock flowers. This is all from seed. It's a little bit of a wildflower box, which I love. This guy's starting to grow his hair. And it's, you know, it's kind of dusk right now, but we'll have to show you some other pictures or a quick video when it gets really dark, because this is just really awesome to, when you're sitting out and hanging in this space, you start to be like surrounded by all these plants and lights, and you kind of forget that you're in a shared space in the city. See you next. So here's what it looks like at night. So one of our favorite places to hang out, especially now, from now until the end of the season. All of the tomatoes and cucumbers just grow up really tall, so when we are sitting in our lounge chairs, you just feel like you're surrounded by plants and all these beautiful lights. And right now, all the fireflies or lightning bugs, what do you call them, they come out. And one thing I wanted to share, a lot of questions I get asked is, how do we keep all of the animals away or from eating our plants? So I guess the only real answer I have is that we feed them. So we have like seed and bread and other things that we give them out way back in the back part of the yard here. And then we also make sure that the bird bath is filled, because they get thirsty. So what we found is a lot of times the squirrels especially will eat your tomatoes or other vegetables because they're just thirsty. So as long as you have water and you keep feeding them, that's really the only secret I have, besides some insect netting from the birds. Otherwise they kind of leave our stuff alone, and we all hang out here at night.